The Premier League is back! Boom! Get in there, my son. How's it going, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here. I'm Flying Pig United with another cheeky little video for you. This one is a Premier League 2021/2022 season predictions video. My thoughts and opinions on how the season is going to pan out in the Premier League, where all the teams are going to finish, what Man United are going to do, who's going to be doing bits, who's going to be having absolute melts, and all the rest of it, guys. So strap yourselves in, baby, because this one's going to be a screamer. Do us a favour at the start of the vid, hit that thumbs up button, and please do get your opinions in the comment section below with your Premier League standings or what you think is going to happen in this Premier League campaign. But let's stop fanning around and get into it. What do I think is going to happen this Premier League year? Let's see. Here we go. Right, guys, we might as well start at the foot of the table, and I'm sorry, I'm going to give it to the six-finger posse. It's going to have to be Norwich City, guys. In 20th place, I just think that they probably will struggle again this season to stay up, and I think they've actually signed some decent players, you know, in this window. Rashica stands out. Milo Rashica coming in for 9.9 million from Werder Bremen. Good signing, Rashica. They've also signed Billy Gilmore on loan from Chelsea. He's a good young player. I think he could do some bits for them. They do have some good young players in their lineup as well. The likes of Max Aarons and Todd Cantwell. They do have some good players, but I think if you look at their last run in the Premier League campaign, it was difficult for them, and I think it will be difficult for Daniel Farke again, yeah. I think we are going to come up and do well in the Premier League this season, yeah. This is a different time, it's second time around. We have learned a lot from the first time in the Premier League, and I think it's silly for everyone to think we're going to get relegated again, because it's different time, it's different year. We're going to stay up. No, Daniel Farke, he seems like a decent guy, he seems like a good manager, but I just think Norwich City will struggle again this season. So yeah, sorry to anybody from Norfolk who may take offence to that, but I think you've got no fucking chance, mate. That's what I'm going to say this season. So relegation, probably going to happen for Norwich City, but hey, maybe they'll prove me wrong. I hope they do. I like them. Norwich City represent that green and gold. Glazers out, you know what I'm saying? Where are you? Let's be having you! Okay, guys, next up, I'm sorry to say, in 19th place, I've got to give it to the Saints. Southampton. I think they've been on a downward spiral the last few seasons. I'm not very impressed with any sort of transfer business that they've done in this window. And I just think it's going to be a very difficult time for them this year. Theo Walcott, of course, came in from Everton on a free. You know, his best days are well and truly behind him. Livramento, 5.3 million from Chelsea. Brozier on loan from Chelsea. Chelsea helping him out for some reason. Adam Armstrong, 15.9 million from Blackburn Rovers. They're signing in the summer, really. Yeah, it doesn't seem very strong to me. And you look at some of the players that have gone out. Lamina went to Nice for 5 million. Bertrand went to Leicester City for free. Danny Ings, of course, going to Aston Villa for 31 mil. They may well do a little bit more business before the window shuts. But I'm not feeling good about Southampton. They don't seem to have strengthened. In fact, they seem to have weakened themselves quite considerably. So I think this might be the end of Southampton's little run again in the Premier League. I think they will be getting relegated this year. That's my prediction. So Southampton fans, sorry about that one. I know there's a few who watch this channel, but I'm going for 19th place for Southampton. Just don't see them doing anything this season after the business they've done in the window. Maybe they'll prove me wrong, but I doubt it. Right, guys, in number 18, the 18th position in the league, I do think it's going to be Watford. I think they're going to struggle to stay up, obviously coming up from the Championship. Always difficult for teams to stay up. I'm just not too impressed with their squad. I don't know much about their style of play. Xisco, of course, the manager, Spanish dude. Maybe they'll be playing some tick-a-tack, beautiful stuff, but I haven't really watched them in the Championship. In the Premier League, they were entertaining, but, you know, with players like Ismail Assar doing well, but again, they got relegated. And I think it may well be a similar situation this season. Just too much strength around them in the league to really compete. So, unfortunately, I do think that the Bees, the Hornets, what the fuck are they called again? Wait a second. Watford nickname. Why am I having a brain melt? The Hornets. Yeah, fucking hell. Anyway, I do think that the Hornets will be going down the fucking Bees. They'll be buzzing around that relegation zone anyway. Why am I doing chicken arms? They're supposed to be bee-wings. Okay, next up we have 17th position, which is also the position of the team that finishes just above the relegation zone. That was a Michael Owen thing to say, wasn't it? But hey, you know what I mean. And also I think it's going to be the first team that features on this list from the Championship to stay up. The only team to stay up, in my opinion, this is my prediction, which is Brentford, guys. I think Brentford are going to finish 17th and just avoid relegation. Just got a little feeling about it. I think I like their manager, of course, Thomas Frank. I think he's a good coach. I also think they play good football. Haven't seen a great deal from them. Not going to pretend that I have. But I have heard a lot about them from the last season, and they were unlucky not to get up a couple of times. So they've definitely been, knocking on the door for a season or two under Thomas Frank. And I think, look, they could surprise a few people this year. I'm not expecting them to do absolute bits, but I'm just going to say that they're going to stay up. I think that there'll be a team that's currently in the Premier League from last season's campaign, which falls out and falls into the relegation zone, along with two other Championship teams that we've mentioned that came up. But I think Brentford will be the team that stays up, and they haven't signed anybody miraculous or spent a lot of money. In fact, they signed Frank Onyeka from Midtjylland. They've signed Christopher Ager from the Celtic, Miles Peart-Harris free from Chelsea, and Wissa from Lorient, undisclosed fee. So it's not like they've done a lot of business, but I just think they've been building a great team ethic. It may well be another. I think it's going to be similar to when AFC Bournemouth came up. When AFC Bournemouth under Eddie Howe just had that great team mentality, they had a good style about them, and they were settled in what they were doing. They had a bit of confidence. So I think that it's a similar situation with Brentford. I think they're just about going to avoid the drop and finish 17th, guys. 16th position, I think, is going to be Crystal Palace's. It's very weird, Patrick Vieira coming into them, to be fair. Well, that sounded a bit wrong. But you know what I mean. It's just a little bit strange to see Patrick Vieira managing Crystal Palace. Didn't really see that one coming before he was appointed, but there you go. He is the manager. Who knows how good he's going to be, of course, in the Premier League. He's a very big, strong character, and, he's a winner. So we'll see if he can get the best out of that Palace side. But it's a strange one. I'm not sure if it's going to be a great fit. I look at the transfer business they've done. They signed Jacob Montes from Georgetown Hoyas, Olise from Reading, Guehi from Chelsea, Joachim Anderson from Lyon, and Conor Gallagher from Chelsea. No, it doesn't sound like they've done a lot there, does it? And you look at some of the players that have gone out there who have been decent big players for Palace over the last couple of seasons. Players like Andros Townsend, players like Van Arnholt and Sacco. Hennessy's gone out. Nathaniel Klein released. Connor Wickham released. James McCarthy released. Gary Cahill released. There's a lot of players that have gone out, sort of senior players. So this is a period of transition for Palace. And that is why I think that they're not going to get the 14th place position that they finished last year. Obviously, Mrs. Doubtfire Hodgson on his way out as well. Period of change for them. I think they're going to go slightly backwards before they go forwards, which is why I'm giving them the 16th position. Going to be a tough season, I think, for Patrick Vieira at Crystal Palace, but maybe he can prove a few people wrong. But he is sort of a virgin when it comes to Premier League management, and it's obviously tough to get a team like Crystal Palace in a period of transition like this, firing on all cylinders and getting them a safe mid-table finish. That's actually no mean feat. So we'll see how it does. It's going to be interesting to watch Palace and Vieira and see how they got on this season. But my prediction for Palace is a 16th place debacle. Newcastle United then, guys, number 15th. Sorry to say, sorry to the Geordies. How are you, man? Yeah, number 15 for you, I'm going to say. I don't think it's going to be a good season. They finished, I think, 12th last year. I love Stevie Bruce. He's one of the hardest men alive, but he literally got his nose broken by a shovel and never even went to the hospital about it. But I love the guy. He's seriously, of course, a Manchester United legend. I hope he does well, but he's not being backed by the board there. I don't think they've signed a goddamn player this window so far. They don't generally back their manager. They don't generally give the fan base what they want there. It's a shame. Newcastle's a great run club. I don't want to diss the Newcastle fans who might be watching this. I think you've got a great club, but it's just not in great hands right now. And I don't even mean Steve Bruce, who's doing what he can, but your owners. And of course, it's just a shit show. I think they're going to go backwards. I think, was it 12th they finished? They're not going to get that this year. I'm going to say 15th position is Newcastle United. Yeah, they're going to falter a little bit this season. There you go. Let's go on to Burnley then. This is Sean Dyche here. Fair enough. I mean, yeah, okay. We had a decent season last season, but it wasn't good enough for me. We finished in 17th place, but I have proven that I could keep this Burnley side inside the Premier League time and time again. So, credit where credit's due. I think I'm a great manager, and I need to be respected, but I must say we didn't do too great last season. What we're going to do, though, this season, we're going to do some bits. We got Nathan Collins who's come in, we've got Badu, and we've also got Wayne Hennessy, because I like a little bit of Hennessy, can you not tell by my voice? Anyway, but no, sorry guys, but I do think Burnley are going to do a little bit better than they did last year. I'm not going to say they're going to do absolute bits. I think Dyche's been a very, very good manager for them over the last several seasons. It's sort of like I liken it to a similar situation to a Pulis at Stoke. He's sort of a no-nonsense manager who's come in with a no-nonsense method and he's getting results. and he's consistently got them staying in the Premier League year in, year out, which for a club like Burnley is no small thing. So fair play to Sean Dyche, but I must say I think he's going to struggle again this year. But one of the movers, they're going to be going up this year. I can see them finishing as high as 14th position, guys. I'm going to put Burnley in 14th place. He knows how to grind out results. It's all in the training methods. He has the lads doing laps round Turf Moor, carrying tea trays to get that stability, get that balance, and to get that mental strength. But anyway, no, that's where I think they're going to finish 14th place. They're climbing up from last season where I believe they finished 17th, didn't they? So 14th position for Burnley would be a good move up. I think that's realistic. Next up is lucky number 13, lads and lasses, and I think the 13th position in the Premier League this season is going to go to Brighton. I've got a feeling that Brighton are going to be one of the climbers from last season. I don't know why, I just think Graham Potter is a good coach, and I think he's got a good set of players there. I think they sort of cemented themselves last season as a safe team. What I mean by that is a team that is, that didn't have too much pressure on going down towards the end of the season there. So they were sort of safe come the end of the season. They didn't finish high up. I think they finished 16th. They didn't have a great season, but I just think they were never really too concerned about going down. I mean, have a look at the points tally. Obviously, they finished on 41 points. Fulham, who were the 18th place team that got relegated, finished on 28. So technically, Brighton were only 4 points off of finishing 12th last season. So I think that they could well do that. I think they could get as high as that. But I'm just going for an improvement up to 13. I think Potter's a good coach. I think they've got some good players there. They haven't really done much in the way of the transfer market, though. But I've just got a feeling, I like the way that they play their football. I think he's got a good defensive side there. They have just lost Ben White to Arsenal, of course. But I'm expecting them to do a bit of reinvesting with this money before the window opens. That's why I'm thinking they might have a bit of a stronger finish this time around. I mean, they signed Enoch Mwepu from Red Bull Salzburg for 20 million. That's a decent investment of a player this summer. And Kjell Scherpen, 4.5 million from Ajax. Could be a good player for them. We'll see how he goes. And Kore Mitoma, undisclosed from Kawasaki. So, look, not a great deal of business by them so far, but we've seen Ben White go out. They have had quite a few players go out. In fact, a long list of players, loads of players have gone out, but no real key players. This is another reason why I think, though, that they will sign quite a few players this window. In fact, the length of outs is probably longer than anybody's in the league. There's probably 12 or 13, 15 players maybe on that out list of players that have gone out this summer from Brighton. So I'm not saying they're first team players, but I do think that they're preparing to do a little bit of business, have a bit of a tidy up, maybe reinvest some of that money they got from Ben White and have a chance at, or have a real go at cementing themselves as a proper mid-table team, maybe? Just about. I think you could see Brighton improving. So I'm going for 13th place for Potter's Brighton. Let's get on to Wolverhampton Wanderers, who I think are going to finish 12th, which is actually one better than last season where they finished 13th. This is a bold prediction from me, guys, isn't it? Because they've just lost a really good manager in Nuno, who's done some bits with them and obviously assembled a really good team, had a great Portuguese influence on them, and sort of really cemented them as a top 10 side. It didn't really work out for them last season. Maybe he had his eye on another prize. I don't really know, but they just didn't really have the great end to the season that they're capable of, which is why they did indeed finish in 13th position, which is not good enough for Wolves considering the couple of seasons they had before. But he's gone on to bigger, better things at Spurs. Not that much bigger and not that much better, might I add. But he has gone to Tottenham there. Wolverhampton Wanderers, it's a time of transition. They've lost Rui Patricio, a really great goalkeeper there as well. But they have had a new coach come in with experience. Bruno Lage is a ex-Benfica manager. He is a Portuguese experienced manager. And that's sort of what they're going for some reason at Wolverhampton Wanderers. They've got this proper Portuguese vibe. And they seem very, very happy on having that influence of Portugal's play. And to be fair, it's not done them any harm over the last couple of seasons, might I add. Wolverhampton Wanderers have done some fantastic things. And you look at the players they brought in this season so far. They've got Mosquera from Atletico Nacional, Francisco Trincao on loan from Barcelona. They've got Ait Nori from Angers, Jose Sarr from Olympiacos, and Bendiguz Bola from Fehavre. So they have made a few signings. He has obviously tried to go out there and strengthen and sign a couple of players that he's interested in, and he may well do some other stuff. But like I say, because it is a transitional period, because Wolves have lost a couple of their key players over the last couple of seasons, whether it's Jota going to Liverpool or, of course, Rui Patricio's just gone this summer. They are in a bit of a series of transition. So I've got a feeling that they will struggle, but actually, I thought they struggled last year. That's why they finished 13th. They could have done a lot better. So for me, 12th is actually a realistic number. If you look at the couple of seasons before that, they did much better than 13th. So I think 12th is a realistic target for them to aim for this season. So any Wolves fans in here, there you go, mate. It's going to be a 12th place finish for Wolverhampton. Wolverhampton like absolutely Boston, mate. Next up, guys, it's Leeds. Oh, horrible to say that word, isn't it? Leeds United, anyway. First game of the season, of course, tomorrow. Come on, United, we're going to smack them up. But anyway, look, they did a good thing last season, guys. They proved themselves to be a very, very good team. I think Leeds United are no fools at all. They've got a great coach, a passionate coach, a really exciting attacking style that they go for as well. And, you know, you've got to give credit where credit's due for a team that came up from the Championship, regardless of any spendings, which wasn't mad or anything anyway. But he's done a brilliant job at getting them 9th place last year, guys. They finished above Everton, Aston Villa, some of these seasoned teams that, had a decent season themselves, really. Some of them, like Villa, they had they had a good season, but he finished above them. So you have to give Bielsa and Leeds a lot of credit. In terms of players that they brought in this window, it's not really been an amazing window. I'm looking at their signings here, and it's quite... it's quite quiet, really. They've brought in Jack Harrison, undisclosed fee from Manchester City. Junior Firpo from Barcelona for 13.5 million is a notable one. And Christopher Clausen from Valoranga. But really, really unimpressive signings so far. But it's not really about, that's not what Bielsa's team's all about. His team is that, it's that word, it's team. His teams are teams. So don't be going messing around thinking that just because they haven't signed any big marquee star signings so far this summer, they're going to struggle. I think they're going to be around about where they were last year, but I'm just feeling that they did a little bit too well last year. I think there'll be other teams that are chomping at the bit trying to get ahead of them, of course, and I think they had a strong finish, and that's just how things went last year. They got 9th. But actually, I think 11th place is very realistic for them this season, and that again will be a very good season for Bielsa. It's one of those, isn't it? I could be looking at this at the end of the season going, what a shite prediction I made there, because they've got the potential to go on and maybe finish in those European spaces. You could see them finishing in the top 7, getting a Europa League spot. I could see that happening. Equally, I could see them struggling and maybe finishing 14th or 15th, or hell, even getting fucking relegated. I doubt it, because they play good football, and as I say, they are a great team. They finished 9th last year. So I really don't think that's going to happen. But it's hard to predict where they're going to finish. But I'm going to say 11th place for Leeds. Okay, next up, 10th place. I'm going to give it to Aston Villa, guys. Last season, they finished 11th. I think you look at the player that they've lost this summer, Mr. Jack Grealish. That's a big loss for them. Very influential player. Was a match winner. Did make a heck of a lot happen for them. Definitely one of those influential players in their team that they're going to be worse off without. But you know what? They made some decent signing in this summer transfer window already, and they've got a bit of the Grealish money left. I suppose maybe they could add 1 or 2 before the window closes. But even if they don't, if you look at the players they've signed, they've actually made some decent acquisitions this summer, and I think overall, as a team, maybe as a squad, they're probably not any worse off. They may even well be stronger. If you look at the players they signed, they got Buendia, of course, 34.6 million from Norwich City. Good player. Good signing, that one, I think, for Villa. Ashley Young on a free from Inter Milan coming back to Aston Villa. The experience there. It's a good squad player. I think he could prove to have a decent season. Leon Bailey coming in for 28 million from Bayer Leverkusen. Very ambitious signing. Very exciting player. Very, very good. They got Danny Ings, 31.7 million from Southampton, proven goal scorer in the Prem. And Axel Twanzebe's gone on loan from Manchester United. That's a notable one as well. So you look at those 5 players that they've come in. Yes, they've lost Grealish. They might have, released El Mohammadi, lost Tom Heaton to Manchester United, but those players don't really mean anything to them. They would have tried to improve in their starting 11. You look at the few players they've bought in there, it's a good window for Aston Villa, even with Grealish going out. So I think they're going to have a little bit of a stronger season than last year. I'm going to give them 10th place. Right, guys, next up we have West Ham United, aka the Ginger Goblin Stomping Ground. And I think they had a really good season last year, didn't they? Didn't they finish 6th? That's crazy for West Ham, really, with all those other host of clubs that spend big money and are looking for those top 7 spots. Fair play to Moisey and West Ham. They did a great job. Of course, they had that midfield partnership of Rice and Souček, which was doing bits for them last season. Maybe that will stay intact. Maybe it won't come the end of the window, but I think that it will personally. I think he'll be staying there another year. And Jesse Lingard was doing some bits for them on fire last season. It's a question mark about whether or not they'll get him back. I think that they will. They haven't done a lot of business so far in the transfer window. They've brought in Craig Dawson for 2.1 million from Watford, Thierry Nevers from Reading on an undisclosed fee, and Alphonse Areola on loan from Paris Saint-Germain. That's all they've done. So I do think they're going to sign some players in this window still. Jesse Lingard may well be one of them. I think they'll have a good season again, but look, I cannot expect David Moyes' West Ham to do as well as they did last year. That was kind of like a freak season. If he proves me wrong, fair enough. But I think that ninth place is much more realistic for West Ham this season, just simply because you look at all the other teams that are going to be trying to get into those top 8 places, and on paper anyway, I think they are all better than West Ham. That's just my opinion. It's not played on paper, we know that. That's why West Ham finished 6th last year, and Moisey did a great job. But to sustain that the next season with West Ham without them going out there and really strengthening, I think is going to be a bit of an ask. So we'll see whether or not David Moyes can get another top 6 finish with West Ham, but I doubt it. I'm going for 9th place. I think they will fall off a little bit, and I think that there'll be other players that they need to bring in between now and the end of the window. Of course, we'll see happen, but even then, it's probably unlikely that they can repeat the season that they had last year. Next up, we have the return of the Spanish waiter, who's on the other side of Liverpool now, managing Everton, guys. Of course, Everton, I think, hey, look, they didn't have a great season last season, did they? They finished 10th, which I think for them was really quite poor. Ancelotti at the helm then. They've got another really experienced manager in there. They're not messing around. They've gone in for big names, big experienced managers who do have proven track records. I'm not so convinced about Rafa Benitez at Everton myself, which is why I'm going to say that they're going to finish 8th this season. They've signed a few players, some good signings, actually. I have to give credit where credit's due, for cheap money. Look at this. Damari Gray came in for 1.8 million from Leverkusen. I'm not saying he's going to set the world alight, but that's peanuts. Asmir Begovic, undisclosed fee from Bournemouth, probably not very much. Andros Townsend, free from Crystal Palace. They've done some frugal business so far in this window, not a lot. They have lost out on a few players, people like Balassi, Walcott have left this window, Bernard, but nothing too major. Nothing too major. I think they've done well in replacing with some free, cheap, or free players. Whether or not they'll do some more business is another question, but he's got his work cut out for him. The Spanish waiter, will he be able to deliver that dish to the table in one piece? I doubt it. I think he's going to get flustered and fall over and break some crockery along the way, guys. So I'm going to say 8th position is where Everton finish, guys. Let me know, any of you toffees out there, if you think I've been a bit harsh about that one, but I just think that there's 7 teams that are just more realistic to finish above you. It's as simple as that this year. Okay then, let's get into a bit of a meme club now. It's time for a meme. It's Arsenal Holland, guys. Arsenal. Look, fair play them. They finished 8th last year. They had a complete nightmare. Mikel Arteta sharting their bed. It's a meme. I mean, it's a meme, isn't it, at this stage? But you know what? I think they'll go one better this year. I think they'll break into that Europa League spot. I think 7th place is theirs. I see a lot of delusional Arsenal fans all over the place thinking with the right signings between now and the end of the window, or with the right belief, with the right coaching on, we can get top 4. Bollocks, you're not getting in the top 4 with that squad. It's an absolutely guff bear squad of guff. I'm just going to put it out there. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's really lacking compared to the top 3 or 4 teams in the league massively. So unless they do a lot more business, I don't see them being a real threat or having a real strong chance of getting into those top 4 spots, or even really into the top 6. So 7th position for me for the Gooners. Sorry about that, Arsenal Holland fans, but that's my opinion. It's actually an improvement from last year, so I've not done you dirty. You know, you did finish 8th last year, and I'm going to say that you're going to go one better in 7th place. So it's not like I'm trying to piss you off. That's genuinely how I think the season's going to go and where you're going to finish. I don't think Arsenal is a top club anymore, and I just think they're going to struggle, and I think they've got a shite coach. Now I'm trying to piss you off. Right, guys, let's get into the top 6 then. I'm going to give 6th position to Tottenham Hotspur. I think that, look, they didn't have a great season last year. They finished 7th, didn't they? The Jose Mourinho melt effect and everything's a nightmare, dreary stuff. They've got a good squad of players there, though, and I think with the right coach, they could turn it around quite quickly. I think Nuno's a good coach. It remains to be seen whether he's a good enough coach for a big club like Spurs. And when I say big club, I don't mean that big. But they are a club that should be within the top 5 positions of the league every single season, really. That's just the nature of their history of their club. They're a big club. Reasonably big club, not that big. I emphasise that again. But with the players they have, the right coach could turn it around. Son Heung-min, Harry Kane, these guys are absolutely world-class. If they keep Kane, which I think that they will do for the season now, because Grealish has just signed for City, and he was probably thinking about going to City, if anyone, and that was probably the only realistic destination for him. PSG have just signed all these players as well. That's not going to happen. So I don't think he's going anywhere just yet. I think he might stay another season at Spurs and just melt away and just waste his career away, winning nothing and finished in 6th. Sorry to say, Spurs fans, but I think it's going to be another struggling season. I think Nuno is a good coach, though, and that's why he'll get you up a position from last year. I think he'll get you 6th. But again, a lot of teams fighting for those positions above you, I think, are just slightly more likely to do so. So Tottenham going to be another disappointing season for them. Another trophyless season, I would imagine. But I think that's what it's become for Spurs now. I think rather than looking at trying to break it back into the top four or challenge for titles, they don't seem like a club that's necessarily looking to do that now. What they need to do is just try and focus on winning a trophy, because it's been since 2008 since they won the Mickey Mouse League Cup, and their fans definitely could do with a little bit of something to celebrate. Something to celebrate. Oh my goodness me. I mean, I don't like Spurs and I feel bad for them. You know, so look, 6th place, yeah, Tottenham Hotspur. Why? My name's Brendan Rodgers. I've got a very particular set of skills that I've acquired over a long career in management, and I've finished in 5th place many times, but, you know, I think it's going to happen again. I'm just going to say that now. We've got a great set of boys and really nice technicians out there, some wonderful footballers, but I just think that it's going to be a little bit of an ask for us to finish higher than 5th place this year again. Anyway, I think 5th place for Leicester City this year, guys. Again, I think they always sort of miss out on those Champions League spots. I just see that happening again. I look at the teams above them, I think they're more likely to finish higher than Leicester. Leicester are a good team. Brendan Rodgers, great coach. He's done some great things with them. And he's got a really great set of players there, guys. You know, he's built a very good team there. Well, not just him, but he has been there a number of years now. And he's built a good team. And he's got some really wicked players. People like Vardy still knocking around the gaff, could be banging those goals. And even with at his age, he's just such a key asset for them. People like Maddison and Didi. These guys are really, really top draw players, guys. They've signed Patson Daka for 27 million from Red Bull Salzburg. That's a really good signing. They got Soumaire from Lille for £18 million and Ryan Bertrand on a free from Southampton. Couple of good additions there, guys. I think Leicester mean business. But again, difficult for them to break into that top four with all the other teams that also mean business. So for me, Leicester City going to repeat that 5th place finish from last season. Brendan Rodgers, hey, that's good for Leicester. It's not bad. I think that they're a great coach. Great club. They can hopefully, try and focus on getting some trophies like they did last season. You know, that's what it's all about, guys. Getting some silverware as well as challenging for things. You can't expect them to do it all overnight and get consistent top four and win trophies and all these things. It's steps in the right direction with Brendan Rodgers and Leicester. So I think that they'll do well. I think they'll cement themselves in the top 6 this season, but I think a 5th place finish is in order. Okay, guys, now the top 4. And call me a mother chuffer, but I'm going to say Chelsea in 4th place. Now, of course, they've had a new coach come in. He has done bits with them. He has done fantastic things, winning them the Champions League, and they looked so much a better outfit than compared to when Fat Frank Lampard was at the helm. I have to say that. He's revitalised the team, the players, and they look good. But there was always that effect when a new coach comes in, if you ask me. The players have something to prove and fight for, and you often see a boost, especially if players are happy that the previous management and the previous regime is gone. You often see a boost in performance. And I'm not saying that's the only reason they won the Champions League. It's very hard to win the Champions League, but we saw them do it before in a similar situation with Di Matteo in the previous years. Does it mean that they're going to go on and win the league the next year? Well, it didn't then. He got sacked shortly thereafter. Tuchel's a different animal, though. He's more experienced of a coach. He does obviously have a great coaching style, and I think he proved that with his short spell of improvement at the club when he was there since he came in towards the end of the season. So, yeah, I think they'll do very well this season, but I still think they're going to finish in that 4th spot. I think they'll cement Champions League, but I don't see them challenging for the title. A lot of people do. Me personally, I don't, guys. I think there's still 3 teams that are better than them in the league. It's not to say that they're not a good team. I just feel like there's 3 teams better than them in the league. What they have given themselves, though, this season is potentially a 25-goal-a-season goal scorer. If they feed Lukaku the way Lukaku likes to be fed, then I think he can get those 25 goals a year for them. I really do, which is kind of ironic because at United, he couldn't hit a freaking barn door. But, you know, at United, he wasn't really the right fit for United. Chelsea have always played with those sorts of big, strong centre forwards, and it's always done them really well. And so why would they want to get away from that? Werner's just a complete gash up there. I think he's proven to be a big disappointment. He's not the man. They had to go out there and reinvest in this window. Let's be honest now, Lukaku is a really good signing, guys, for Chelsea, because he's proven not just in Serie A this season just gone, where he's absolutely torn it up and been one of the stars of the campaign, if not the star, but he's also proven in the Premier League. Even at United, his record was 1-2, but before that, whichever club he's been at, West Brom, Chelsea, wherever, he did score a good amount of goals, and I think that in this period of his career now, if you give him what he needs and the service and everything that he wants, then he's going to get those 20 to 25 goals goals a season for them. So I do think they'll be doing well this season, but I still think there'll be 3 teams finishing above them. So Chelsea for 4th place for me, guys. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below, any Chelsea fans. Am I doing you dirty there? That's genuinely my opinion, though, of where I think you're going to finish. Okay, guys, next up, 3rd place. Oh, we're getting down to the crunch numbers here, guys. Oh, 3rd place, you know what? I'm going to give it to the Scousers, I am. I think they had a shocker of a season last year. They still managed to get 3rd, though, didn't they? Fair play to them at the end there, coming on strong. But, nah, I can't see them replicating that form that they showed the season before last, and indeed the season before last, because I just don't see them doing that. Their players are aging a little bit. They've had players who have been out for the majority of the season, people like Virgil van Dijk. Is he going to be the same player when he comes back? Hey, he may well be, and I think when he comes back in, they're definitely going to be a better outfit. They've also signed Ibrahim Konate, of course, from RB Leipzig, which I think is a really good signing for them as well, and bolsters their options in that position too. So if they do have a big player or a big injury this season in that area, they've got a little bit more cover there now as well. But they've had some players go out. You know, Wijnaldum went out. That's a big loss. I think he was a good player for them, so he went out on a free. But yeah, they signed Ibrahim Konate. They've not done a lot of business, but they didn't really need to do a lot of business. Their front three's kind of proven. Firmino and Salah and Mane, these guys, they're always going to get you goals and rip teams apart. Their midfield's strong. Their defence is now strong. I think they'll be back. Their wing backs are world class, really. Just credit where credit's due. They've got a very good squad on it, and more importantly than that, let's give the old denture lover a bit of credit. They've got a great coach, and he is an attacking coach, and he is a coach that gets results as well. So I expect them to be up there, tearing teams apart again this season when they've got Van Dijk back in there. That's just how I see it going down. But do I think that they're going to finish any higher than they did last year? I actually don't. I actually think maybe the time for Liverpool's key moments of success, the really great spell of being that team. Because let's be honest now, for a season or two, they were that team in Europe and in the Prem. But they're just not. I think that time is over now. I think it's not anymore. So Liverpool 3rd. I hope I'm not proven wrong there. And I really hope if they prove me wrong, it's because they finished lower than that. But I'm going to say that they're going to finish 3rd. They're a good team, guys. I think they're better than Chelsea with their players fit. So I'm going to give them 3rd. Right, guys, I've ummed and ahed about this one so much. It's the top 2. It's the top 2, guys. The top 2, the top 2, the top 2, the top 2. Do I speak with my head or do I speak with my heart? Well, my heart tells me United to go win the freaking league. Come on, United. But my head tells me we're not. I'm going to be totally honest now. My head tells me we're going to finish 2nd. I think we had a great season finishing 2nd this season just gone. Maybe we shouldn't have even finished there, really, with some of the other teams the start of the year probably being more realistic to finish ahead of us. But we did do the business and finish 2nd. We didn't necessarily challenge for the title, but we weren't that far away. I think what our objectives this season should be is to try and close that gap as much as possible and actually really have a proper title challenge. But the way I see it going down is just United get pipped by Pep City. They invested a lot. They got a great squad. They got a great coach. And they've proved they won 3 out of the last 4 Premier Leagues. It's going to be difficult to dislodge them, guys. Not to say that we can't do it. I still think there's an outside chance. But my prediction is that United finish 2nd. I just have to be honest. I think we haven't done enough in the window yet to say, yes, we've really got the great squad capable of doing it. We might have signed Varane and we might have signed Sancho. And those are great signings. But we're still a little bit weak in that midfield area. And you look at the depth that City have in all positions, really. And it's abundant. So for us to be able to compete with that, I think it's just difficult. And even if we did go out there and sign all of the players that we need in all of the positions, and they're great players, it's actually getting them to all gel and work. And still, you've got to get that team to function. And you've still got to get those players to win the league. It's not all as easy as just putting puzzle pieces into the jigsaw, in my opinion. There's a lot more to it than that. And also, you've got other teams that are trying to stop you from doing it as well. Teams like Pep's Man City, who are a good team, of course, and who are vying for that title also. So it's going to be, I think, a battle between 3 or 4 teams this season. It's a really exciting Premier League campaign. I think the top 4, as I've said, Chelsea, Liverpool, City and United, I think we're all going to be tussling for it. Liverpool will be possibly coming back with their winning ways, with their injury problems not so bad. Chelsea with a better coach, more investment, Lukaku coming in, they'll be up there firing as well. And I think City, of course, Pep Guardiola, and then they'll be up there swinging punches and doing what they do because they've been proven over the last few seasons. And Solskjaer, it's on Solskjaer really. In fact, Solskjaer's the one that I'm almost more questioning than anybody else in that top four, because I think, crikey, he's got his work cut out for him to get them performing and challenging for that title, even with Varane coming in. But I do think that's a massive signing for us. Rafael Varane, a huge signing for us. Could cement that partnership. Slabby Alvaguaya at the back there, Slabby and Varane doing the bits. That could well happen. So, and I think that could stop us shipping a lot of goals and losing a lot of games. So I'm hoping that is a key signing. But we do need a big midfielder. We haven't done it yet. So Glazers, wake the fuck up and stop being a bunch of melters and go out there and sign that top midfielder that we need. Because that will increase our chances of challenging and winning that Premier League title. But as it is now, guys, I still think we're just going to be a little bit too short. And I hate to say that. I really do. But I think we're just going to be that little bit too short. So second place for United. Right, guys, and in first place, it's Manchester City. I think they're going to win the league again. Yeah, nice one, baldy Pep Guardiola, you a bunch of financial fair play dodging twat owners, oil money's douchebags. That's all it is, man. 100 million on Grealish. Let's go and sign Kieran Knightley from Bennett Beckham for 100 mil. Are you taking the fucking piss? I'm sick and tired of Manchester City at this stage, but because of that, because they got baldy Pep on £1 billion a year, because they got a team assembled of Galacticos, which they spent £1 billion on since fucking Pep's pity, and because they just go out there and spend 100 million on random dudes who, let's face it, are good, but they ain't worth 100 fucking million, and make a mockery of football and money and financial fair play rulings, and make a complete mockery of it. That's why they're going to win the fucking league. That's why they're going to win the fucking league. No other reason, because of money. So there you go. Man City win the league. Congratulations, you bunch of cheating bastards. I hope I'm wrong though, guys. I really do. Come on, United. Let's topple Pep City. I hate these guys. Anyway, all I know is the Premier League's coming back. Manchester United are stronger than we were last season. We have Rafael Varane. We have Jadon Sancho. And we have that great set of players that we already had. One or two key more signings this summer. We could be up there best in those City twats. Come on, the Glazers. Give us what we want as fans. And let's challenge these City twats. We need to sign a couple more in there. Anyway, guys, before I have a coronary, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching my Premier League predictions video, 2021-2022 season. That's what I think. There's the table. Get your thoughts and opinions in below. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm totally wrong? Let me know. If your club has been done dirty by me, then let me know in the comments below. But I genuinely just gave my honest opinion of where I think they're going to finish. And I've got to choose them to finish somewhere, don't I, guys? We can come back to this at the end of the season and see, crikey, how my predictions held up, and were they completely gash, or did they actually have any basis to them? So we'll find out when we get to the end of the season. Those are my genuine predictions. I think it's going to be a hell of a season. Come on, United! Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you smash that like button before you go. And also hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. We do regular Manchester United content, football content, FIFA content and all sorts. So if you are new, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, check us out on social media, Flying Pig United, and I will see you on the next one. Come on, United!